All right, let's get right into it. If you've got an exam on research methods coming up, you're in the right place. We're going to take all those context ideas and turn them into a clear, simple study guide that you can actually use.
I mean, if you're studying for an exam, it can feel like you're drowning in terms, definitions, and processes, right? It's so easy to get lost in all the details.
But don't worry, that's what we're here to fix. Over the next few minutes, we are going to build your study guide together. We'll break down all the core concepts you absolutely have to know into simple, memorable pieces that are going to stick with you on test day.
Okay, first things first. We have to start at the very beginning. Let's define what we're even talking about. What is research, really?
You can think of research as a journey from curiosity to certainty. It isn't just about looking things up online. It's a careful, organized investigation specifically designed to uncover new facts and, expand what we know about the world.
Now, what I love about this definition from Redman and Mori is just how simple it is. It all boils down to that one key idea, a systematized effort. It's not about random searching. It's a methodical, deliberate process for discovery.
And then Clifford Woody gives us a more detailed look, kind of paint a picture of the full cycle. You can see it's about starting with a problem, gathering up your evidence, analyzing it, and then finally reaching a conclusion. It really is a complete journey from start to finish.
So now that we know what research is, let's talk about why we do it. Every single research study has a specific goal, and pretty much all of them fall into one of four main categories.
Think of these as the action verbs of research. First, maybe you just want to explore a topic you know nothing about, just to get some initial insights. Or maybe your goal is to describe a group or a situation in really fine detail. You could also be trying to diagnose something, basically figuring out how often an event happens. And finally, you can test a hypothesis to see if one thing actually causes another. Knowing your objective, that's always the critical first step.
Okay, so once you know your why, you gotta pick the right tool for the job. Let's look at the different types of research. This is your toolkit, and you want to match the right tool to the right objective.
Now this is a classic comparison. You will definitely see this on an exam. The difference is all about your goal. Are you trying to solve a specific practical problem right now? Well, that's applied research. Or are you just trying to expand what we know as a species for the future without some immediate use in mind? That's fundamental or pure research.
And here's another key distinction you absolutely need to know. Is your research all about numbers, measurements, and things you can count? That's quantitative. Or is it about understanding the quality of an experience, the why behind those numbers, exploring feelings and motivations through things like interviews? That's qualitative.
Just pause and think about that for a second. This is the perfect way to really get a handle on the difference. What kind of problem really needs you to explore why someone feels a certain way instead of just counting how many people feel that way?
Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the different types. Now, let's walk through the actual blueprint, the step-by-step process of how you actually do a research study from beginning to end.
This is your roadmap. Seriously, think of it as a logical sequence that guides you all the way from that first little spark of an idea, formulating the problem, straight through to creating your final report and presenting what you found.
And hey, to make those 8 steps even easier to remember for your exam, you can just chunk them into 3 phases. The first 5 steps, that's all about planning. Step 6 is the field work, actually going out and collecting the data. And the last 2 steps are all about analyzing that data and reporting on what you discovered.
Now let's zoom in on that very first step, problem formulation. We're focusing on this because, honestly, getting this right is probably the most critical part of the entire process.
I mean, this quote says it all, doesn't it? If you don't define your problem correctly right at the start, everything else you do, all your hard work collecting and analyzing data, it's all going to be aimed at the wrong target. You won't solve the real problem.
And here is a key translation you absolutely have to master. A manager has a practical issue, a management problem. They want to know if a 6-day work week will boost productivity. Your job as a researcher is to turn that into a research problem, something you can actually investigate. So you don't just measure productivity, you look at the underlying factors, like employee morale.
So, how do you get that research problem right? Well, you need the right fuel to get started, and that fuel is information. But here's the thing, not all information is created equal.
This table right here is a fantastic study tool. At the very top, you've got the most reliable information, facts, super high quality, easy to use. As you move down, you get to estimates, which are a bit less certain. Then come predictions, even more complex, less reliable because you're talking about the future. And finally, way down at the bottom, you have relationships between variables, which are the most complex and difficult to work with.
So, when you get right down to it, understanding the what, the why, and the how of research does way more than just get you ready for a test. It gives you this powerful framework for thinking critically and solving problems that you can use pretty much anywhere, in any part of your life. So as a final thought to take with you, just think about this. If you had all the time and resources in the world, what's one question about how things work that just fascinates you? How would you use this powerful framework we've talked about to go from that simple question to a real data-driven answer?